Privyet Druzyas. I'm terrible at Russian, so please don't judge me. The Russian Empire had the largest land mass in the world at the time, so what about its colonies? Let's find out in Terrible History with me, Ibniy. Yes, that's my name, Ibniy. By the 1850s, the Russian Empire was looking to sea. It bordered countries like the Qing Empire, Sweden, and Prussia. So it was pretty big at the time. Being a large superpower, it also has its fair share of colonies. One of the well-known was Russian Alaska. After the eastern expansion of Russia in 1552, the Russians seek to expand even further. And what's even eastern than Russia? That's right, Russia! Cause there's nothing more eastern than Russia. The world is all Russia. Please forgive me for trying to be funny, I'm not. It's Alaska. The first written record that suggests Europeans encountered Alaska was in 1648 by this guy, Simon Desnac, when he sailed through the mouth of the river Coloma. But it wasn't in the time of Peter the Great in 1725 when he called in for a second expedition to Alaska. From 1733 to 1743 the second expedition to Alaska took place with the SV Petir under the command of him, Dane Vitus Bering, which this place is named after him. The Bering Strait. See kids, when you have a boat and you want to explore things, go for it. Maybe you can name a place after you. He died. What do you mean he died? Oh. That place was named after the place where he got shipwrecked. Then in 1742 his crew finally reached the shores of Russia. They even barely made it. I sometimes wonder how can sailing from to here take 10 years. This sparked interest back home. In 1743, fur traders began sailing to America, which they established trading posts there. Trading was going well with the natives. This does not mean it was rainbows and sunshines. Massacres and war between the Russian Empire and the natives took place, where the natives, which are called the Aleuts, are enslaved. But Catherine the Great, the Empress of Russia, this guy, I mean gal, I mean girl, I don't know what's the female version of guy, okay. Anyways, in 1763, urged her subjects to treat the Aleutians fairly. But no, they gave her the "shut up woman, you belong to the kitchen" type of thing. And continued to massacre and kill many natives. Even worse, natives were dying because of diseases due to the Europeans. More than 80% of the population died due to these diseases. The company flopped and was never profitable due to transportation costs. But some Russians were to keep it for themselves. In 1784, Grigory Ivanovich Chalikov established the Russian-American Company, which sought to keep interests in Alaska. Remember the part where the natives get massacred? Oh yeah, they fought back. In 1804 with the Battle of Sitka, with Russia winning once more. Cause you know, guns. Russia never fully colonized Alaska, with natives attacking once a while. Russians are that of a dick. Then the Russians, starting to think that they were of kind of dicks, decided.
Привет, what if we leave the natives alone?
Das Hur. Why not?
In 1860 Russia was ready to abandon its Alaskan colony, with attacks from natives, and the colony never giving them anything profitable. They were pretty excited to kick this colony to the can. Plus they were broke AF, they sold it to the Americans. By 1867, the Americans, agreeing with the Russians, bought the Alaskan colony for $7.2 million with 2 cents per acre. With inflation added to today's time, that would be, let's see, $125 million, so a win-win situation. Then Russia got broke once more, then things started to get funky. But this wasn't the only Russian colony in the Americas. Russian California and Russian Hawaii are the most least talked about colonies of Russia. The sad thing about it? No, it's not why it failed. It's because they chose to make a colony in California. They weren't really colonies, they were more like forts. Fort Ross was established in 1812 near North San Francisco. While in Hawaii, they established lots of them. Most notable was Fort Elizabeth, which is located here, in southwest of Waimea. Waimea? Women. Speaking of women. What I said earlier doesn't have any relation to women, but it's interesting. Like women. A Russian colony in Africa. I don't consider it as a colony, it's more of like a part of town they took. This is Sagalo, a tiny part of the country of Djibouti. Haha, Djibouti. Sagalo was a short-lived colony established in 1889. I'm starting to see a pattern in Russian colonies. They tend to be quite as good in being a colonial power. Or they just suck. Anyways, Sagalo was originally part of Ottoman territory in the 16th century when it was incorporated into French Somaliland. Then this Russian guy, Nikolai Ivanovich Akhanov, visited this place in 1883 and was like,
Wow, this is good place, even this part of Russia, and finally we can have colony in Africa. I just hope it will last a long time, not like the other colonies we had.
So he had plans to colonize this part of Africa. By December 10, 1888, with 165 passengers in his crew, he sailed to the distant lands of Africa. When they got to the Gulf of Tadjoura, his crew was like,
Скрузи сым Готенков.
What do you mean by getting off? We're in the middle of the sea.
Well, it will not stop me from getting off.
We are in the middle of the ocean. Where the hell are you going to go? Wait, what are you doing?
I'm taking this ship and cow with me.
Why on earth would you do that?
I don't know, I'm bored guess.
I'm not gonna lie, the Cossacks in his ship stole cows and sheeps. I'm guessing they were hungry, how would I know? I wasn't there. Then the French was like,
On wa dove avant. Priing tu colonies mon colon ia.
Igwes.
Tuvad. No gonna pen.
By February 5, 1889, the French brought one French cruiser and 3 gunboats. The French gave an ultimatum to Akhanov. And Akhanov misunderstood what the French said because he's Russian. And Russian people, they don't speak French. An artillery barrage rained down on the Russian colonists. The colonists surrendered, which resulted 6 dead and 22 wounded. See kids, this is why you don't mess with French territory. You don't want them to be mad. Russian Manchuria is one of Russia's colonies that aren't really colonies, they were more of like spheres of influence. Manchuria was controlled by Russia after the Boxer Rebellion. Then 8 nations made an alliance because they want a slice of China. Can you guess the alliance name? That's right. It's the 8-Nation Alliance. After the rebellion, Russia took this part of China. Like Alaska, they were also not keen of the people living there. Any retaliation by Chinese rebels were hanged or shot to death. But Japan was like, I wanna get chunky. So they did and went to war with Russia. Guess who won? That's right. Russia. No, it's actually Japan, who won, making it the first Asian power to defeat a European power. Now Manchuria was in the hands of Japan. Remember the 8-Nation Alliance? Russia didn't only take Manchuria. After the Boxer Rebellion, Russia took Manchuria and this concession here in Tianjin. What's a concession, you may ask? I don't know. What do I look like to you? A dictionary, go search it up. Sorry guys. A concession, according to Oxford, a thing that is granted, especially in response to demands, a thing conceded. So Russia was granted this piece of Tianjin here. As you can see here, Russia is actually neighbors with lots of countries, like Belgium and Germany. The concession was very underdeveloped, unlike the other concessions neighboring it, but when Russia started to get red and funky, it's renounced its claim on the concession, which was later then incorporated into China. Those were Russia's colonies overseas. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down if you want more of these. So yeah, bye.